Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Are you feeling lost in the entrepreneur corn maze? You're going all these different directions and nothing is really leading you anywhere, and certainly not leading you to make any consistent cash in your business. And you're growing more and more frustrated, overwhelmed, and then it paralyzes you. Well, growing your business is a seriously exhausting process if you don't have a strategic plan in place. Now, while winging it may have worked for you in the early stages or even be working a little bit for you now, if you want to see major next level cash, you need to have a plan. Googling, guessing, studying what other people are doing in the industry is not a business growth plan. And if you're like, Tiff, I can barely even focus on creating a content plan. How am I supposed to now focus on creating a business growth plan? Where do I even start in all of this? There's so much conflicting information out there and there's only one of me. I don't know what to do. And if someone could just freaking show me what to focus on and just laser in on that and forget the rest, and I have confidence it's going to work, I'll do it. Well, I know you're at this exact spot because I was there myself, and I'm paying it forward by bringing back my world famous free live training series, 3 Days to Make Bank. In this free 3-day live training series, I'm going to focus you in on the 3 things that you need to give your time, energy, attention, and money to in order for you to get that next level cash in your business. Day 1 is how to determine whether your niche is profitable versus specific and how to fix it. Day 2, learn to create content that sells for you so you don't have to. And day 3 is how to handle the dreaded, I can't afford it and I have to check with my husband objections. We're covering those in a straightforward, clear, zero fluff way over these 3 days. All you have to do is go grab your seat. This will sell out because this is a live series that I'm only doing once all year. So make sure you go grab your spot at projectmewithtiffany.com/makebank, projectmewithtiffany.com/makebank. The link is also in my bio on Instagram at projectmewithtiffany. Feel free to share with friends, other fellow entrepreneurs that you know want to have a great time learning from a multimillionaire entrepreneur that consistently makes heavy, heavy cash every single month over and over again while focusing on a few things and forgetting the rest. I look forward to seeing you there, and go grab your seat. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast and posse. I'm your host, Tiffany, and you guys are going to love me today because I finally found someone who could come on and actually give it to you straight all about TikTok. And you know I'm going to ask all the questions in every single possible way, because I know that you've been looking over there. Should I be on it? I am on it, but it feels so heavy because now it's another piece of content I have to create, and I can't hire like a VA to do it because it has to be my face in the videos. And now it's another thing for me to do. And I actually have, clients to take care of. I don't have time to be, I'm not a 19-year-old living in mom's basement creating TikToks. I've got shit going on. So I'm really excited to bring on, and first of all, how impressed are we that she has the handle on Instagram, the TikTok coach? I'm like, this bitch grabbed that at 11:59 p.m. before TikTok was invented. I'm really impressed with that. Her last name, I'm going to try my best to pronounce it. I'm going to do my best, but I brought on Samantha Vlaschanu. I'm really paranoid when I say it. I was like, I'm going to get it. but she's at the TikTok Coach, and she specializes in coaching business owners to strategically use TikTok as a vessel to get more dream clients. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't market to Gen Zers, I don't have a jewelry company, I don't see how this would make sense. It doesn't matter if you're a medical professional, if you're a lawyer, if you're an accountant, if you're a coach, if you're a network marketer, there is money to be made on this platform. And Samantha is gonna give us the goods today. So welcome to the explicitly rated show.
Well, thank you for having me, Tiffany.
I found her because I stalk people, as a lot of you know, I stalk all my clients. But I was looking for someone who would give it to us straight and tell us like the pros, the cons, kind of like the catch. I don't want to, we don't want to hear like, oh yeah, you can just like do a couple TikToks and go viral and have, 1 million followers in 30 days. Like all these things that we keep seeing about TikTok. Like, I'm not saying that there isn't a unicorn that happens for, but we want to hear it straight. And I know you'll give it to us straight.
Tiffany, I'm sorry. This is not NFT. Okay. We're not going to
It's like not that serious, right? Oh my God, I'm dying. So first of all, tell us where you started. Did you start your niche on teaching businesses about TikTok on TikTok and then come on Instagram, or was it the other way around?
You know what, Tiffany? My story actually started by accident. I had a different business. I had a travel business. And when COVID hit, I couldn't pivot that business to online. And I went to a dark place, Tiffany, I'll be honest. And I was like, my life sucks. I'm going to go turn to myself on TikTok, distract myself. I saw the good of what I saw of everyone on TikTok. I was being entertained, inspired, learning on a daily basis. And I'm like, businesses aren't using this, Tiffany, for its advantage. Me coming from a management consulting background, I'm like, this is a golden opportunity to teach businesses how to use TikTok if I master it first. And I did. And I mastered it for my old business. Other businesses started reaching out to me. I'm like, this is my niche. I need to help businesses make more money using a platform they would never expect to use.
I love it. Isn't it interesting how that can happen? Right. I mean, you could have also just like sat in a pity party and like let the pandemic, have taken you over and not done anything. So because a lot of us have felt that way where it was like, what's the point? I mean, we can all get stuck in that. What made that click for you where you're like, you know what? I'm going to go from travel to teaching TikTok. I mean, that's a pretty big difference.
So because I came from management consulting, my husband's like, just go back to work. Go back to a 9 to 5. And I'm like, fuck that. I want to work 24/7 instead. I'm just going to go and do something else.
Fuck that. I want to be crazy and put everything on the line and work 7 days a week as an entrepreneur.
And put all my eggs on a platform that nobody understands. Yes. NFT, man.
Oh my God, that's great. So on TikTok as of today, right? How many followers do you have now over there?
Over 130K or so.
And then you have like over 1 million likes or whatever the term is, right?
Yeah, likes, views, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
Vanity metrics.
So tell me, because I've definitely immersed myself and went all in on Instagram. It's something I teach. Like you go all in on a platform, be obsessed with it. Then once you master it, then you can add another one. So now I have Pinterest as well, but I'm on the cusp of going all in on TikTok, but not until we spoke to you. Cause a lot of us are in the same spot as me where it's like, okay, give it to us straight. To start a TikTok from scratch. You already have a niche, you already have maybe an Instagram, or they already have like a YouTube or a Facebook or something like that, but you're starting this TikTok thing from scratch. How much content do we have to pump out for it to really do anything for us?
So a lot of TikTok coaches will say that you got to post 3 to 5 times a day. Actually, I disagree with that. Because most of my clients, actually all my clients, they are business owners. They are hustling and bustling and building their empire, and also usually a mom or dad at home. So we don't have time to spend all that time on TikTok. We're not influencers. So my golden rule is remember that frequency is less important than consistency, but quality is still king. Okay, so I need you to be strategic with your time spent on TikTok. Produce 3 to 5 times a week. That's doable. And when you're doing all that content, what I mean by that is you're going to batch your content. So you block off 2 to 3 hours to film 2 weeks of content, and then you're good to go.
So you're saying like you would rather see someone, let's just go with like your minimum, right? You said 3 to 5. So 5's your optimum a week. But like, let's say you did 3 and you did 3 a week, but like you put like time and attention into it. Like it's high quality. You're not doing it from your ass. Like it's high quality content. You would rather see a client do that than scrambling to throw something up there 3 times a day.
Yes. I mean, the quantity game does work, I will be honest. And it works really well when you have, say, a program launching. You're like, okay, I have a program launching in 1 month. I got to get better at TikTok. So you get more practice. The more videos you're doing, the more practice you're getting with not only the technology app itself, but also just presenting naturally and being more authentic on camera. Because a lot of us are scared of being on camera on video, Tiffany. A lot of us.
Yeah.
And it does work, but from a long-term strategic plan, you're going to get burnt out. That's not where you're meant to be as an influencer or content creator. Your niche is what your zone of genius is.
Yeah, because that, in all transparency, I mean, I have a page set up, but I heard the same thing from these experts and even friends of mine in the space who decided to go all in with it and hired a coach, and they put out 3 a day. And it's like 3 a day. I already produced myself so much content, right? I have podcasts. I have, an email list. I have all my programs. I have so much content. I do I do a minimum of 3 Instagram reels a week. So to me, as a business owner, I have 2 businesses. I have a team. Like I have a lot of shit to do. Plus I have to manage myself, which is a whole full-time job in of itself. I was like, how can I find the bandwidth? And I know for a fact my people listening are going, yes. How can I find the mental bandwidth to come up with more content for a platform that I'm not even familiar with?
You don't need to. Okay. So Tiffany, your last podcast, you can just create that into 5 series of a TikTok video. The whole point is we want to work smarter and not harder. Repurpose the ideas that you already have. You can, if you have 5 ways to get started with your business, break that down into 5 parts now. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And now you have 5 content pieces for TikTok.
So would the title be something like, give me an example. Like if we just made a generic example like that, what would the hook title be?
Here are the 3 of the biggest mistakes most new businesses are making. Part 1.
I see. And then I would do part 2, part 3, and I'm pulling from content that I already have.
Exactly.
And really the easiest stuff that I've seen because I've coined myself the world's laziest business coach. So I'm like, you always want to hire a lazy like business coach or consultant because we know shortcuts that actually worked because we try all of them. I look at, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not the expert here. The easiest and fastest TikToks to record are just the straight up face to camera ones. Is that true?
Absolutely. So a lot of misconception is that, well, now I'm going to have to dance on TikTok and nobody needs to see me dance. Trust me, guys. I thought that too when I first jumped on TikTok, and I feel sorry for whoever had to watch me dance. You do not need to dance. None of my clients are dancing who are coaches, doctors, lawyers, accountants. None of them are dancing. What they are coming onto TikTok is talking straight at the camera just like this and showing up as a thought leader. They're starting off with our content where we keep it simple, and we'll start with our top 10 FAQs that we get asked all the time from our clients that we can now answer in a simple video format.
But you have to have a hook, just like, and I'm going to get to that question about reels, because I know I can hear you guys, like I telepathically, when you guys want certain questions answered, and then you get pissed if I don't answer them. Like with reels, okay, a comparison that a lot more people are familiar with. You have to have a hook, and it has to be on your screen, so it's your title. So if you were to break down like the absolute key elements of a solid TikTok for a business owner, what would you say those are?
So for a hook side, the anatomy of a video should be, I'll answer that one first. So the anatomy of a video should be anywhere between 30 to 40 seconds. Keep it short. The anatomy includes a 3-second hook. Then you have about 4 to 30-second tip value that you're providing. And then you have a call to action in the last 3 seconds. So the hook side, and what makes a really good hook is position it around the problem, the solution, and who this topic should be for. For example, how to grow your business, how to get started with your business within 30 days with less than $500. Okay, so that's telling me it's for beginners that wants to start a business that doesn't have a lot of money. Okay, so I'm gonna watch your video. And what also makes a really good hook is taking a look at some of your emails that you decide to open. Why did you open those emails? It's probably because of the subject line.
Totally.
See how they framed it.
Yeah, that's what I tell people is, if you don't, that subject line is your hook, or no one's going to open that email. So basically you can go to your even your top opened rate emails and use those as hook lines in your subject line. That's interesting. So when you say, so you say I love the breakdown you gave. We all love breakdowns here. So when you say that CTA at the end is 3 seconds, is that when you say people go, follow me for more tips? Is that what you're talking about?
That's an easy one when you're starting out, because guess what? Nobody knows who you are. They don't know what problem there is, and they don't know there's a solution for it. So yeah, you're going to use it for your cold audience. You're going to use something simple, something that doesn't take time and money from them, and something simple for them to commit to. Follow for more, like for part 2, check out our Instagram for behind the scenes. Those are really simple. Comment down below for X, Y, and Z to stay on this side of TikTok so that they get your specific types of content going out to them.
Okay. That makes sense. And I've studied a little bit, right? Like I've studied, I've been like, I've studied your stuff. I was like, okay. Like I'm warming myself up. It's only taken like a year and a half, but that's fine. What I am really curious about, and I know the audience is curious about as well, I see people in almost each reel, when they do their hook line, then they go right into a quick thing of introducing themselves, because in general, this audience is cold to them. How do you feel about that every time?
I mean, I've seen it on TikTok as well. That I personally don't enjoy it, because that gives your audience an opportunity to swipe away. You don't want to talk about yourself. You want your videos to be focused on your audience. Remember, guys, your videos or your content should always be focused on the hero. And you guys are not the hero. Your products and services are not the hero. Your audience is. You guys and your services are the guide in getting them to point A to point B.
Do you think it's better? I like using examples that aren't as obvious for people. Like a lot of people get confused between, they think their niche is an industry. It's like, no, those are two different things. So let's say someone, let's use like network marketing as example. Let's say someone sells like wellness type products in network marketing. Wellness is an industry. That is a very broad thing. So if you just came on TikTok and you just you could go all over the gamut with wellness. And if you're with a network marketing company that has gut health stuff and skin stuff and supplements, right? You're all over the place. Do you recommend, when someone's in like a broad category, right? Like you could be a business coach, you could be a mindset coach. Do you recommend they focus on like one key pillar within their industry and hammer that?
So my thing with niche really isn't supposed to be in pillars. That's not how I see niche. What I see niche is more like a tree, and there's branches towards from the trunk of what you can talk about. So for example, and I'll use myself as an example. Yeah, I talk about a lot about TikTok, but I also talk about the differences between the social media platforms. I also talk about client management. I also talk about being a woman entrepreneur to inspire other women entrepreneurs. So there's still other areas I do talk about. That's not just only about TikTok. You do want to show your story as well.
Okay. So how often are you incorporating a little more of your story, or are you incorporating it educationally, like how you were talking about, like being a female business owner? It's like you're inspiring them, but you're also kind of teaching them a little about you.
Yeah, so I'll usually use some ethical persuasion to get them to understand where I'm coming from before I kind of do my whole spiel of my educational side. So for example, if I'm talking about charging your worth versus telling people that charging your worth is not the same as charging what you're comfortable at. And I'll give some fun stat around that, why women undercharge so much. And I'll tie it in. Listen, guys, I was there too. I was that person 2 years ago, so I get it. So I have that whole Me Too feeling with my audience, and they understand where I'm coming from. But from the TikTok side, you can just strictly show up and do a lot of educational content.
And that's not boring to the land of TikTok, where you have people doing like, choreographed dances and makeup tutorials and 85 crazy edits and outfit changes.
I hear you, Tiffany. And guess what? I thought in order for me to succeed on TikTok, I'm going to show up as the funny person. Guess what, Tiffany? Before jumping on TikTok, I thought I was like a 10 out of 10 when it came to funny. I joined TikTok, I'm like a -2 out of 10. It's like, everyone is so funny on TikTok. So what you want to do is stand out by showing up in your zone of genius. And that's where you coming in as an expert in being a doctor, an expert, being a coach in this specific area can come on and teach their audience just 1/10 of your knowledge. TikTok invested over $500 million in bringing on more educational content over the last 2 years.
Oh, wow. So they want more, they want educational content. So that's I guess you could say a misnomer that TikTok is really about entertainment content. I mean, obviously that is a factor as well, but you're telling me that they really place, obviously they wouldn't have put in that kind of money. They place a big importance on educational content.
1,000,000%. They don't want to just be the entertainment app that just captures teenagers coming on. Because guess what? Teenagers are fun and they'll set trends, but they don't have the money and disposable income to spend on certain products and services, where the ads are the ones that will come in.
Yes, honey. Now you're speaking my language. That makes so much sense, because my other company, I work with multi-billion-dollar corporations, and we buy like crazy. I mean, 500,000 a month in digital ads, or, even more. And they don't want to do ads, just impression ads for teenagers. They need conversions and people to buy. And teenagers, most of them, unless you're like in LA like me and they have platinum cards, but most teenagers, they have to ask their parents for the money. It's not like an instant buy.
Yeah, exactly. A 30-year-old looking at something that costs $60 versus a teenager looking at it costing $60. Who's more likely to buy?
30-year-old. That makes so much sense. What do you see now that, you're obviously also on Instagram? What do you see as the main difference between Instagram Reels and TikToks?
So when I joined Instagram, I realized Instagram has a different feel to it. It was originally designed around creating a digital magazine around your personal brand, which is great, because then now you can show how great you are and people can live vicariously through you. Because of how TikTok has done, obviously Reels came on to kind of copy what TikTok has done in terms of the success it has had. The difference, what I've noticed from a functionality side, is TikTok's content is always around 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead before you see it on Reels. I'll tell you that off the bat. Like every time I'm seeing a new trend on Reels, I'm thinking in my head, I already saw that 2 weeks ago.
You're like,
on TikTok.
honey, that's old news.
But it's new to everyone on Instagram, which is okay. And keep in mind, Reels is in the more newer phase. So there is some limited features, limited effects, song choices. But from the way it actually works, I've noticed that TikTok shows more engagement, quality engagement over Reels. Reels will get you more impression, more views. You'll get more likes for it, maybe, or similar likes. But from the quality of engagement, people sharing it, people commenting, leaving insightful comments, I see that more on TikTok.
Interesting. I would not have guessed that. I would have guessed TikTok to be like more likes, like more easy, quick engagement, not deeper engagement.
Yeah.
See, this is why you don't assume. This is why you bring on an expert. These were all
who's biased.
Who's totally biased, and that's fine. So I see inside TikTok, just like in Instagram Reels, right? You can put a cover image, and on Instagram Reels, you want to share your reel to your feed, or it's going to get like half the views. And you, not all the time, but you want to at least like have a cover image because it's going to make your feed look janky, et cetera, et cetera. And on TikTok, there's a different approach. It almost seems like the cover images aren't really that pretty on TikTok.
It's true. I've never followed someone because I'm like, oh, I really like her feed on TikTok. But I've done that on Instagram because I'm like, oh, I really like her style on Instagram. And it's nothing. I'm not smashing Instagram or anything. I love Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all that fun stuff. They all have a different purpose for my business. But TikTok side, in terms of where it ranks on authenticity, it surpasses that on that platform than any other platform I've seen. I've seen people be their raw self. I've seen people with no makeup talking about something specific in their own niche. I've seen people showing real emotions or telling their own stories that they are willing to share with millions of people, but won't share with their own parents. Okay.
I agree. When I've looked, it's like, and that's why it appeals to me, because that is part of my brand, is that like zero fucks given. Like I'm showing up exactly as I am, and I look crazy a lot of the times, and that's fine. That's real life, and it's less work. I mean, if I had to put on makeup to make content, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, Tiffany, I'm so glad you agree with me. I cannot, I was following a bunch of Instagram moms that were perfect with this gorgeous husband and 4 beautiful kids and this gorgeous house that's clean. I'm like, what the hell?
Like who are these people? Who are these people?
It's your house all the time.
Yeah, like who are these people? I don't understand. I don't understand this deal. So for the editing portion of TikTok, this is what gives everyone a rash. For Reels too, it's like, oh my God, editing, because then they think like technology, and now it's video editing, and now I have to be like a video editor, and then there's all these people promoting all these various TikTok apps to use. What is like the simplest way to edit TikToks? And actually, because you said you batch them, do you leave them inside of the TikTok app, or are you batching them outside the app?
So I actually film most of my videos because I'm talking a lot of times. Sometimes I'll do some entertainment ones, but when I'm talking, I actually just film it on my camera. And there's a few reasons why I do that. One, the quality stays much higher. And that helps me to repurpose it onto other channels. My TikTok, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my LinkedIn. This quality just stays much higher than when I have to download it from another platform. The other side is if I make a mistake in my video, I have the original copy. No problem. I can re-upload it. The moment I add sound to it, it's really hard to script that out or strip that out. And the third part is, if for whatever reason there's a glitch on any of the platforms you're using and you're filming within that platform, guess what? You lost all that work that you just filmed. And that's happened to a few of my clients. That's why I always advise to film off of your phone on your own camera, and then you can use an editing app. I suggest using InShot as a third app to help you split up your shots and splice it all together.
So does it work if, first off, my first thing when I hear you say you do off your camera, it's like, girl, there's limited filters on that shit. So what are we doing to not make ourselves look, super crazy?
I mean, I film everything and I repost
so
it onto
you
TikTok.
film it on your camera with like basically minimal filtering.
Oh, the iPhone 13 Pro. I look good, girl.
Really? Damn, I need to upgrade. I'm on the 11 Pro. Okay. So you film it on your phone, and then why do we need to take it to InShot? Why couldn't I just upload that 40-second video straight to TikTok, pull the music, put some text over it? Why do I need to go to InShot?
So I usually use InShot because of the batching side. So I usually record my phone at 10 minutes at a time, and I'm filming 3 videos within that 10 minutes. So that will help me cut any bloopers out or any mistakes I had stumbled on. And because of 10 minutes, you can't put that onto TikTok. You can just go straight to TikTok once you're finished filming. Just put it on, upload on TikTok, and then you can trim down your videos to make it easier. And the application is just really easy, just to add text, add your effects, whatever you need to do to make your video done.
Do you feel like in order to get started and really see momentum that we have to use different effects? Do we have to put like, have rolling captions on the screen? Like, do we have to do all these things?
So the caption, yes. So about 60 to 80% of your audience will be watching your videos on silent. And that includes both TikTok and Instagram Reels, until they see a hook that captures them in. So that's why it's always great to always include text overlay on your videos to hook your audience in. Your closed caption is your secondary hook. That's where you already got their attention for more than 3 seconds. And now they're going to kind of read what you have to say. Then they're going to turn the volume on. That's usually how it works when people are watching on mute.
So that closed captioning, is that done inside TikTok, or do you have to do that in an outside app?
No, you can do it right into TikTok. It's pretty,
okay.
It's pretty.
So that's
simple.
a feature that, for example, Reels doesn't have yet. You can do it in Instagram stories. I don't think you can do captions, automatic captions in Reels yet. I'm pretty sure you can't.
No, I don't think so. I think most people are using a third app.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing, is using a third app. I'm trying to think about that. So let's take a look at hashtags inside the land of Reels. And we've been testing a lot of things here. We've been testing using all 30. We've been testing using 15. There's really, we've not found any concrete patterns. Now, we have tried using no hashtags just to see, and that didn't end well. So don't do that. That was a recent test. That was not a good plan. I notice on TikTok, there's not that many hashtags.
Everything on TikTok is going to be short. It's short to the point, short videos, short bio, short caption, short amount of hashtags. So on Instagram, you mentioned you can have up to 30 hashtags. On TikTok, you have about 7, including your description that you can include. And my suggestion to you guys who are listening is of your 7, include 4 of them to be what your audience hashtag is. Meaning, if you target business coaches, use business coach. If you target moms in their 40s, use hashtag moms over 40s, hashtag moms of teenagers, whatever those hashtags are that your audience is using to describe themselves on TikTok. That will tell TikTok exactly who to send my content out to.
Okay.
The 5th hashtag, include your own branded hashtag. So if you're Tiffany Carter, hashtag Tiffany Carter, and make sure it's not taken already. Why?
Better not be taken. Although there's a porn star that has my handle named Tiffany Carter. Just saying. I know we're not surprised.
There's also a burlesque dancer. When I Googled you, I'm like, oh.
Are we really surprised with the name Tiffany that this is happening? Not really. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay. So the 5th one you said would be like a branded one, but make sure someone else doesn't already like kind of
or it's not being, or it doesn't mean something else. For example, I use hashtag SVLAS. It means nothing to anyone who sees it. But the reason why is because the moment my videos start taking off and Tiffany's really watched that one viral video, guess what? Tiffany's going to get 10 more of my videos coming her way because of that branded hashtag. TikTok's going to see it. Oh, Tiffany really enjoyed this one hashtag with this hashtag on. Send her more of my content. The sixth hashtag to include is their topic. Make it easy for people to find and use the phrases your audience would be typing in as if it's Google. The seventh one is a hashtag of who you are. If you're a business coach for women, type it in, hashtag business coach for women.
So like, let's say you're a Reiki healer, right? But your ideal client are, moms over 30. So in those first 4 hashtags, it would be hashtag mom over 30, hashtag millennial moms, it'd be about who they are. Your fifth one would be your own, brand. It could be like, Reiki queen or something, your own branded one. And then you're saying, then the 6 would be like topic, whatever you're talking about. And the 7th you're saying would be what you are. Then you would do hashtag Reiki healer.
Yeah. The reason why, whereas Instagram, you might be using a lot of hashtag about the post itself, about what you do. You really don't want your content to, if you're a Reiki healer, to consistently use a bunch of other Reiki healer hashtags. You don't want your content to go out to other Reiki healers. You want your content to go out to your demographic. Okay.
That's where a lot of people also mess up, you guys, on Instagram too. Then you end up you'll do a lot of stuff with coaches. I see a lot of coaches doing it. And you do mindset coach, you do a lot of self-identifiers. Then you end up attracting your competition. Then they slide in your DMs and try to sell you shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God, this gives me a lady boner. I love talking about hashtags. Why does this excite me?
Can I give you one more strategy tip?
Please.
Okay, guys. If you guys go on TikTok and you'll see a bunch of hashtags that's too big, you see like millions and billions of views, don't use those ones. We're going to use micro hashtags instead. My definition of micro hashtags is any hashtags that's between 500,000 to 20 million views. And that's considered micro, guys.
Oh my God, that's very different than Instagram.
Like Instagram's micro, I think is like 40,000.
So 500,000 to 20 million is considered views is considered a micro hashtag on TikTok. And you're saying like, stay in that zone. Don't do like, there was a trend for a while on Instagram where you would do like hashtag health, hashtag love. You know what I'm like? That's wild. Don't do that.
It's true. Don't do that. And why? You're like, well, why not? Why not use the generic hashtag FYP or hashtag for you page? The reason behind that is because the people who are watching that may not be your ideal audience. So for those who don't know TikTok yet, hashtag FYP just stands for the explore page. And then people assume if you're going to use it, you're going to get on the explore page. But who's in that explore page? Well, you got your single moms, you got your dog owners, you got the entrepreneurs, you got the teenagers. And the moment your video goes out to these individuals, TikTok will test out to see the first 150 people, are they engaging your content? And not everyone will if you're using such a broad generic hashtag. So go small and micro. So if you target moms, what kind of moms? Hashtag stay-at-home moms, hashtag yoga moms, hashtag wine moms.
That's the kind of mom I would be. Oh my God, that's great. What about when you see all the trending music and all like the different trends? How important is it to jump on a trend on TikTok, or do you just ignore them?
Trends do help with discoverability, but so how trends work is you would need to either jump on right before it takes off in order to really see it succeed. And if your measurement of succeed is that you want to have your video go viral, then you would need to jump on beforehand, because what happens is TikTok has a 4-batch system, meaning your video goes from a small, medium, large, super viral batch test. And when it gets to a large batch test, that's where TikTok will hand pick the videos to go into the million view range. TikTok's not going to pick that many videos that are all doing the exact same thing with not much twist or spin to it. They're gonna be like, okay, we've seen this 100 times already. We're capped.
They want the variety.
Exactly. So knowing this, we need to stay within our most, about 60% of our time, just educate your zone of genius. If there's not a Reiki healer on TikTok, be the first one. If there's not a financial broker in your area that's doing on TikTok, dominate the space.
But let's say I have a lot of realtors in my audience. Let's say you're like, okay, I'm vibing this. I'm going to do it. And then they go on and start like researching. And then they see there's a gazillion realtors on now, all doing, educating face to camera. Does this mean they've missed the boat? Are they too late?
No, you still have about 1 to 3 years. I'll give you guys this 1 to 3 years before it becomes the next Instagram of oversaturation. Everyone on Instagram, I love Instagram, but everyone who's a coach, they're on Instagram. Every realtor is on Instagram. Every marketer guru is already on Instagram. Let's go to acquire their space. The marketplace is so big still on TikTok. Be one of the first ones. You're still early on the
So even if they see like, oh my God, there's like 20 there, I've already seen like 30 mindset coaches. Why would someone watch me? And I'm not doing a bunch of edits, or I'm not wearing costumes, or I'm not like 25 and showing my nipples. Why is anyone going to watch me? What would you say to that person?
Well, why aren't you showing your nipples?
I mean, it does get views, right?
Listen, myself as a coach as included, the coaching industry is so competitive. But think about it this way. Would you rather be the food vendor at the food expo exhibition where you're competing against every single vendor out there for the same audience? Like, hey, look at me, look at me. Or would you rather be the vendor at the stadium that only has a few options for them to see? You still have so much eyes on your content. The marketplace is huge on TikTok, and the stats alone are scary. 3 billion times it's been downloaded. And of those 3 billion times, you have over 400 million active users over the age of 30, spending 82 minutes a day on TikTok.
Holy crap. That's a long time.
That's a long time. And they're also on Facebook for 33 minutes. They're on Instagram for 28 minutes. They're on LinkedIn for 7 minutes a day. But TikTok, 82 minutes a day. And they're watching other people's content and not yours right now. So get it on right now.
God, are you guys? I mean, I'm kind of sold. I don't know about you guys. I'm kind of sold. If you are vibing this episode and appreciate Samantha's straightforward, giving you the gold, not giving you the circle talk, and like the only way she'll teach you anything is if you pay her. If you appreciate this, I want you to take a screenshot, share this episode in your Instagram stories, tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany, tag Samantha at the TikTok coach, and make sure you also follow her. But take the screenshot, keep listening, and post it later, because there's no way this isn't the best, most informative TikTok podcast episode you've ever heard, because I know it is. It is. So let's get to the money, honey. Let's talk about money. Because I've asked people this. I've asked people, and you know who you are because you listen. I've asked people who are like, acquaintances and friends in the, online world. And I'm like, listen, bitch, like you've got like 400,000 followers on TikTok. Like, I need to know, like, are you converting to cash? Does it make any money? No one ever gives me a straight answer. Does TikTok convert to cash, or does it convert to getting people on an email list for like a low ticket offer or a freebie, and then you make money on them later?
Okay. So I will tell you what I do, and I tell you what this is usually the strategy that most of my clients are doing. We are using TikTok not as a vessel, not the overall goal. For you to reach 10,000, 100,000, a million people who are your ideal audience, you would have had to pay thousands and millions of dollars on Google Ads. Let's be upfront about that. So the organic reach of your ideal audience is still free on TikTok. Instagram, if you're a nobody, if you're not Tiffany Carter, let's just say that, it's very hard to grow on Instagram. It's network driven, meaning people have to find you and people have to be sharing your content in order for you to be discovered. Those are the facts. So how do you make money on TikTok? The misconception is if you have a link in your bio, you're just gonna make mad money. That's not how it works. You still need to have a funneling system in place. And you need to still nurture your audience off of TikTok. So yes, getting them on your email list is huge. Social media doesn't belong to us. If it disappears tomorrow, you need access to your audience. So yes, always funneling them into your email list. And the way you do so, it depends on where your audience is. So your cold audience, they don't know who you are. They want to test out the waters. Maybe they'll grab your freebie. Your warm audience, you'll funnel them to your next workshop or webinar that's free. Great. Awesome. But that means that they have to give their time in order to join your free event. And the
but
third
you only
one,
get, okay, go ahead. Tell the third. Then I have a question. Go ahead.
and the third one are your hot audience. Those are the ones that are ready to take the next step with you. Whether you're a coach or a realtor or a doctor, they will decide to contact you and book a call and see if this is a great fit for it. Okay. Or if you're from the product industry, obviously they'll just shop in your store and you're good to go.
But don't you only get one link on TikTok and you can't use like a link tree, or is that wrong?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So the beauty is don't use Linktree. Oh, guys, don't use Linktree. You're sending traffic to a third-party application. Just create a mock Linktree on your website so you're keeping the traffic on your website and then you're bumping up your SEO on Google. So don't ever use Linktree. Just create a simple one on your own website. Now, once you create a mock version of a Linktree on your website, give them 3 to 5 options. And again, you got to target the cold, the warm, the hot audience. So you give them 3 to 5 options and that's it.
That's how you can put a mimicked version of a link tree as your link where they click on it and there's multiple buttons. You can do that.
Correct.
And so then in your different educational content, where do you give that CTA? Because you only have really 3 seconds at the end of educating. So where do you put that CTA to, go join my free masterclass?
So that comes near the end of your video after you've given a lot of value in your videos. But again, you're not going to say, grab my freebie, do this, enjoy my next group coaching program. Keep it simple. Think of that one person, that avatar of who that audience is. Who's this ideal video mostly going to resonate with? And then send them to one of the 3 options that you have.
Like free masterclass, link in bio.
Yeah, link in bio. Exactly.
And then you're done. It's not a whole dissertation.
No.
I see. So then you can send them to so people have different options. But would you say it's really only better to send them somewhere where they're opting in, where you're getting their email? Like, for example, would it not be a smart move for me to include my podcast link in there because there's no opt-in to a podcast?
Not necessarily. I mean, you're still getting something out of doing podcasts. You're still getting them to warm up to see what it would be like to work with Tiffany Carter as a coach. So I wouldn't say that that's a bad strategy. I mean, I've helped a lot of clients just to funnel a lot of people to their podcast that then they become clients afterwards and they tell them, we found you because of your TikTok video and we love what you had to say on your podcast.
Yeah.
There's a longer version usually of what they create on TikTok.
Do you ever sell? Because I know you have, it's either a workshop or a masterclass coming up. We'll talk about that. You guys aren't going to want to miss this because if you noticed how much she's giving for free right now, can you imagine what she's giving in this upcoming workshop? So when in your bio on TikTok, do you ever send them to something that they have to pay for? Or do you kind of stay away from that? Is it always a freebie?
No, it's always something, usually something paid for as well. Like I filled out my last master class. I think out of the 120 people that came, over 70 of them were from TikTok alone.
Wow. And was it at the same price point as the one you have coming up?
Yeah, it was paid. So that was
hello. That's some nice cash, honey. Wait, I have the calculator out. So you made just from that over $11,000.
Yes, but out of that, 7,000 came from TikTok.
Wow. Yeah. See, okay. See, this is what we wanted to know. Like how, so, but if you put like, for example, you had a high ticket offer, that would not be a good plan over on TikTok land.
But the idea here is they come to my workshop and then you kind of funnel them and you try and get them to upsell to the next level, right?
Right.
That's always usually the idea.
So you're using it as part of a funnel and you just have to remember, right? They're strangers. So it'd be like if you're doing paid advertising, you're not going to do a paid ad to $1,000. I wouldn't recommend it to $1,000 product to a cold audience. Unless you're like, and maybe Tony Robbins could get away with it. You know what I mean? Someone who's already known, but I wouldn't recommend that land. This is really fascinating to me. I want to make sure I cover any other questions that I can vibe that you guys want to know. So tell us a little bit about you breaking down this batching, because you're like, in 2 hours, I do 2 weeks of content. It's like, are you a psychopath? Like, how do you do this?
Well, I said 3. Okay.
Okay. 2 hours. Okay, 3.
So what I mean by that is you're going to block off in your calendar intentionally every other Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm just going to film and focus only on filming. The day before that, you're going to script write. So you're going to think of all the 6 ideas you're going to do, highlight the key takeaway of each of the video. If you are saying anything, paraphrase what you're trying to say so you don't ramble. Again, 30 seconds goes by like this.
This is what I have anxiety about it. For me to do 60 second shit, I'm so screwed, you guys. I'm practicing with face to camera reels. 60 seconds is hard for me. This is tough.
Keep it concise. Keep it to one key point. Again, you have so many. It's not like you can only upload 3 videos a week. You can upload more if you want, Tiffany, and just break it out. It's okay. I'll show you the what today. I'll show you the why tomorrow, and I'll show you the how the next day.
And that's where you can also do like the part 1, 2, 3.
Exactly.
And you sit there and do that, but then you also have, right? You also have content on Instagram where I found you. So now you have more time that you have to spend doing your reels and on Instagram, don't you? Or are you repurposing it all?
Girl, we're working smarter, not harder, right? This is 2022. So we're going to repurpose as long as it looks native. What I mean by that, you have YouTube that's horizontal, then you got TikTok that's portrait. Don't repurpose on those 2 platforms. It'll just not do very well. But you got Instagram Reels, which is portrait. You got TikTok, that's portrait. You got Instagram Stories, portrait. Facebook can be portrait, and it'll look great, native. It's very forgiving.
You do it and you record it on your camera, so you don't have to then take the TikTok, put it through this third-party app that removes the watermark, and it's a whole situation. Yes.
Exactly. And I do that also intentionally because the tech side. I know it's extra work. You don't have to do it like me. You can just download the video from TikTok, remove the watermark, upload on Instagram Reels. But I do add the text in from each of the platform because I like the algorithm to pick up those keywords on my video. The moment I download the video from TikTok and re-upload it to Reels, the text overlay is not getting picked up from Instagram Reels platform. It'll see it as part of the video, but won't pick up the metadata or the metadata, what we call it.
So when you use like InShot, a third-party app, there's another app, I can't remember the name, where it will like transcribe what you say. If you're using a third party app to do that, and then you go to upload and whether it's TikTok or Reels, you're saying if you don't use the closed captioning in each individual app, it's probably not picking up the metadata.
It's not going to pick up the text overlay. No.
Wow.
It becomes part of the video.
This is really, I mean, I know we went deep, you guys, but I wanted to ask her this is stuff that matters, or I wouldn't ask, because I don't want you creating these and wasting your time. And I know you don't want to either, but I mean, there's some amazing takeaways in here. The amount of exposure you get. No, you're not paying to pay for that kind of exposure in Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads. It would cost you tens of thousands of dollars. The catch here is your time and energy. I mean, let's be straight up. What's the catch when it comes to there's a catch with everything. What's the catch with TikTok?
Okay. I forgot what I was going to say. The catch with TikTok, I mean, I will be honest. Sometimes people, when your videos go viral for the wrong reasons, or your videos just go viral in general, chances are you're also attracting the wrong audience. And guess what? Those little trolls will come out and be mean and ruthless. Guys, guess when I had my videos go viral, they nitpicked my voice and they kept saying how nasally my voice was. I'm like, my poor husband, he's married to this voice for 12 years. I'm like,
that's so crazy. People are terrible.
But this is a great opportunity for you to show up on how you can be very professional and how you deal with it, or from your brand perspective, how sarcastic and fun you deal with it. I turned it around and I'm like, oh my God, hubby, like, I'm so sorry you're married to this voice. Like, for 12 years, no one's told me. Why didn't you tell me? It's so nasally.
So you would say there's a lot more haters on there, right? So there's a lot more of that. But from a work perspective, because you are exchanging energy and time in order to get this visibility, right? So that energy and time, I mean, you've got to come up with a lot of content ideas. It is a lot of content.
But Tiffany, can I just ask you one thing? And that was a great point, time and energy. Okay. On your Instagram, your static posts, and everyone answer this in your own head. How long before you see engagement drop? So you post today at 9 p.m. And then it lasts 24, 48 hours for you? I would
say, yeah. I mean, I would say max is 24 hours and then it drops, and even if it's some of my content that goes like heavily shared, that goes like semi-viral, it still dies within, I'd say, 48 hours.
Oh, okay. So 48 hours. That's not bad. That took you and your team maybe like 20 minutes to come up with copy, graphics, boom.
Oh, great. I would say more than that.
Okay. On TikTok?
Because of the caption. The caption's, like a blog post, basically, right?
Right.
A lot of time.
So on TikTok, the moment you get going, the moment you're making traction, the moment you're reaching your ideal audience, your videos are going to snowball effect. And your videos will last on average 1 to 6 months. Each video. I have videos, Tiffany, that's still being shared, commented, and liking and all that engagement since March 2020. It's almost been 2 years. I'm not doing a single thing. And I'm just shooting myself in the foot because I did not do a call to action on that one.
You're like the one damn niche specific viral video, and I'm an asshole.
I was like counting all the money that I lost
funny.
On that one video.
That's something that would happen to me, and I'd be like, it's a learning lesson, right? That's probably why you emphasize CTA, right, to all of your clients, so that it's
don't
hammered.
Be me.
Yeah,
don't be me.
It's hammered into their head. So tell us about I don't know if it's a workshop, what you're calling it, but you have an upcoming thing. Tell us about it. What can they learn? We need to know the things.
Thanks so much, Tiffany, for letting me say it. I am hosting a workshop on February 16th. And we're going to talk everything about finding your audience, how to create your great content that's engaging, value-driven. And then we are going to talk about converting your followers into actual paying clients.
All on TikTok.
All on TikTok. It's a live workshop for 2.5 hours. And you'll be with me.
And she's priced it crazy. What's the price? Didn't you say it's $97 or something? Or is it more
It's
than that?
$97.
She's like, why are you telling the price? I'm saying the price because it's ridiculous. It's a no-brainer. And the link, you can swipe up. The sign-up link should be in my bio. If for some reason it's not, then would it be fair to say they can go to you on Instagram at the TikTok coach, or can they go to you on TikTok itself and the sign-up link will be there?
Oh yeah, link will be there.
Link will be on all of her things. If for some reason, like the landing page or whatever we don't have it in time for the show going up, you'll be able to find it on all of her places. You're also the TikTok coach on TikTok, right?
I'm the TikTok coach, Sam V. Someone stole it from a fitness coach that wants me on TikTok.
So you're the TikTok coach, Sam, like SAMV, like Victor, because I'm not going to say your last name again, because that was a one-time shot, and we know that's not going to happen. You guys, if you loved this episode and really appreciated, another great content creator, amazing expert who is giving it to you straight, didn't circle talk. Laid it down straight up style, TIFF style for you. Take a screenshot, share it in your Instagram stories, tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany, tag Samantha at the TikTok coach, and then we will be able to reshare in our stories. We really appreciate it. And go follow her. Go study her TikToks. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, if you really want to get started, I would say that would be the smartest thing to do, because she's already has proof of concept that they've worked in a professional designation. And she already said it's not like she has a bunch of different like antics. She's not doing 17 outfit changes, which I don't know how these bitches do it. I really don't. I don't even have 17 outfits. There's like 17 probably like hoodies.
Don't worry, I got 17 leggings, so we can make an outfit.
we can do it together. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you being so helpful. You were awesome.
Thanks, Tiffany. Bye, everyone.
Bye. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.